Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. I'm your host, Mike Barra in Seattle, Washington, and that lovely lady down there, the lady with the lustrous hair, the potty-mouthed prophetess from Hayden, Idaho, Jennifer Falah Doring. You should have heard her, guys. She was cursing up a blue streak right before we went on the air. So we're just going to give her a new nickname for today, the Potty Mouth Prophetess. Potty Mouth Prophetess. I have to fix that.
Only when it's
funny. Welcome, Jen. How are you today?
Oh, great. Doing great. It's sunny here. I've got a lot of, it's really bright in this room, but and I got a lot of cool info to share with you today.
We fixed that. The Potty Mouthed Prophetess.
Oh my goodness.
From Hayden, Idaho. All right. Well, a couple things before we get started with the Gentel that I did want to talk about. Everybody's collapsing. Well, you're going to talk about it. The mask mandates and the vaccination mandates appear to be sort of collapsing worldwide. And personally, I think they're going to try to bring them back after the elections. I think they're doing this for the 2022 November elections, which to my mind, doesn't bode well for there being a removal of Biden before the 2022 elections. But we have to have faith. We have to have belief. We have to have hope. I think they're just going to come up with some other phony new disease or some other excuse. There's now some sort of skyrocketing AIDS outbreak. Now, I wonder where that came from. I wonder if the you-know-what had anything to do with that. All kinds of crap going on, and I know you have some new Gentel you would like to share with us, so I'm just going to flip it over to you, and we will go with Gentel and let you have the floor. It's all yours.
Okay. Well, first of all, they're not going to have power after the midterms to do that. So I went and I talked to Archangel Gabriel in meditation before the show today, and I got a lot of quick information. Some of this you guys are going to have to go and research for yourselves to fill in the pieces, but really interesting stuff here. Now with the media, I'm going to have to read my notes. Hopefully I can with these glasses. The media as a whole has been charged with spreading communist propaganda. Charged with spreading communist propaganda. And it's in violation of a certain code, and it may be like the Nuremberg Code, it may be the Executive Order 13848, I believe it is. I just, off the top of my head, wrote that down. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The owners have lost power over the media. So this is the phase where they're taking down the media. And you'll see that more and more as we move forward. Because they were a communist arm, they were, you guys all know, they were, but it has been ruled that they have done damage to the public and colluded in the election interference. They have, crimes against humanity and many, many things over a very long period of time. So their media companies are being confiscated by the Republic, is what I was told.
Wow.
So you will see the transition soon. It will be regulated, so private ownership cannot violate freedom of speech or broadcast propaganda for profit.
Wow.
That's what's happening to the media. And he said that, you're seeing things like right now, like Kash Patel on Fox News telling how he just speaking his mind, whatever he wants to say. The interview with Trump, And you'll see little things here and there. They're like, Tucker talking about certain topics.
Yeah, Castro. He brought up Justin Castro the other day in a mocking way, but he did it. And you have this billionaire Trump supporter buying up CNN and going to change maybe CNN. You know what, though? I won't believe it. I won't believe it until we start getting stories in the mainstream media about the murder of Seth Rich. Once that comes back on the scene, we'll know that the corporate overlords are out of business, because they would not allow that subject to be broached. So anyway.
Okay, well, I'm going to believe it now because Gabriel sat there and told me this morning.
All right.
And
okay.
This is not my opinion. Okay, so what we are seeing now, if you start to see more and more the truckers in the media, I don't watch it, so I don't know what's going on over there, but you'll just see the red pilling start to filter in, this gradual. So they basically have control over it now, and that's why you're seeing certain people just vanish and step down or fired, whatever. These people are being arrested and prosecuted. And it's funny because my husband said, you said, he told me like a week ago, he goes, you said February would be the takedown of the media. And I said that last year. He goes, well, you do that sometimes, that it's a year off. And I'm like, ugh. Anyway, so what we're watching is the corporate media downfall right now. And that's part of it. That was, it's something that had to be saved while things are being done behind the scenes. It's something that had to be done when they're helpless. Mexico, they're rounding up the last of the rats who had any power. So they're tying up loose ends down there. So you're never going to get everybody that was working for the cabal, the cartels down there. Because a lot of them are just foot soldiers, that are just paid to do this or that, run things here and there. But basically anybody who was paying anybody, or anybody who's in any position of power, and connected to any kind of money, has been taken out. And that's why they're just rounding up the last middle management people so there's nothing that they can basically do. All right. Now this is where it gets interesting. Okay. He told me, I said, so what's going on? Well, after I asked about Mexico, I said, what's with this China? What's going on with China? We heard something about them being involved in that. And he said, the President Xi is part of a long lineage who really desires a People's Republic of China, like a people government for the people.
Mm-hmm.
Long lineage, and he has played ball with the cabal. He has played a part to get in there and be trusted, but he is also he's the spy, he's the end guy for the good guys. So he's played ball to appear to be one of them. The problem with China and what we've been fighting is not him and his role. It's been the cabal and their control over the Communist Party. It's the strong cabal presence there. That hold has been broken recently. The talks between Trump and Xi were patriot talks. The fight, the sanctions, were for the cabal in that country. This is why there was mixed energy in that relationship. Back and forth, back and forth. He said that President Xi is a part of a long lineage that is that comes from the Jing dynasty. Now, when I was trying to look that up, because I don't know how to spell that, is that an X? Is that start, Jing is how he said it. And it was a little different than that. He said it correctly. I can't do it. So I couldn't spell it to look it up on Google. And so I said it. And what came up is spelled capital Q I-N-G. Dynasty.
And here it is. King dynasty, which lasted
You're not on the screen.
1912.
Right. Right. You want to read that? I got my own over here too.
Yeah, it's the King or Jing dynasty. It lasted until 1912. It was the last of the royal dynasties of China.
So, it was from 1636 to 1912. Gabriel said that they are connected to the elders that Mike has spoke about before when we're talking about the financial reset. So what this tells, I said, is this, I didn't ask him, but I'm thinking after that, when I had to get ready, is this where Q comes from? The letter Q? This is a world alliance. This has been a world effort that is connected and working together to free the world from the cabal's rule. And we know that, but I don't think we've ever really dove into, we're like, oh, China's bad. When we look at other countries, we look at the surface level. You've got people that have infiltrated the bad movement and acted bad and done a bunch of bad things just to get to the finish line so that they can do the good, all right? And that's necessary. That is necessary many times. You got people in law enforcement that will act like drug addicts and go in undercover to do that. So take a look at the 20th century, the 1900s. It was around that time that the cabal's modern rule over the world began. They've always been around, but with the advancement of transportation and things like that, it was much easier for them to move into and infiltrate and own other countries.
That was when the income tax was implemented, which was a precursor to, yes, yeah, exactly, right around that time. 1914 here in the U.S. So again, that was their method of control and thievery from the populace.
I really think that this may be ground zero for them way back when. Now, he's talking about this, that he is part of this lineage that, and I got the idea that it was good and that it was, the cabal grew and that rule was taken from them. And, the way it's connected to the elders, this has been going on for thousands of years. But with the modern technologies, they were able to infiltrate other countries, and they've basically had control over our society in most all countries ever since, for the last 100 or so years. This 1912 date, and then right after that, we start with the World Wars. So just keep a neutral ground when you're watching what's happening with China. Because, yes, there's deep, deep swamp over there, deep, all-consuming cabal presence with that Communist Party. But there are people who have infiltrated that. And I've always thought it was questionable and interesting. Why would I mean, is he just playing nice? What the hell is that?
Well, people were talking about Ming and Fu Manchu and Manchu, Fu Manchu mustaches. So I went and found Ming the Merciless.
Well, I thought it was very interesting when I looked it up, and it's also officially known as the Great Qing, spelt capital Q-I-N-G.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that we have the Q posts and the Q movements and, the Q level of clearance and all those things. And I told you a long time ago that Trump, they didn't just say, hey, Trump, you're popular enough and have enough money. Why don't you run for president? Come on. We're just going to tell you everything we know. That's too risky. I told you that him and his family were involved in an underground patriot movement for a very long time. Mm-hmm. His parents and everything. So this is the rise of certain
the dragon. Yeah,
factions.
And there's again the Qing dynasty, Qing, their flag was the dragon. And you've heard about the Chinese dragon families, as they call them. That's who they're referring to. They're referring to this Qing dynasty, Qing dynasty in China. And they were removed from power, again, at the same time the cabal asserted power in the United States and obviously worldwide as well.
So that's starting to make sense here, because when I originally went into meditation, I didn't have anything. I was just like, I don't know what the hell's going on. You gave me a date on the 12th, supposed to be announced some kind of major, significance, announcements related. He still confirms, because what he'd said, I said, so when is, what are we doing? He said 4 days. And I'm like, does that include today? And he said, yes. And so we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday is the 12th. Another way to confirm what he said before. So, I mean, the House of Cards, if you take a look at everything that's happening right now, we'll get into the truckers, and then I want to talk about a couple other things. But the whole China thing with the Q and all that was just so interesting to me. I was like,
yeah. And,
wow.
and again, in the QFS, the quantum financial system, and in the reset talk and all the revaluation stuff that's talked about, the Chinese elders, the golden dragon and the white dragon families, they're these families that have been opposing the dark cabal for centuries. And
I didn't know that.
And you see when the Qing dynasty was removed from power in 1912, well, what happened right after that, Jen? What happened after that was World War I, started by the cabal, the Great Depression, the collapse of the stock market and the Great Depression, which gave rise to Hitler, and World War II, and then the Cold War. So basically everything, all the evils of the 20th century happened after that dynasty fell in China, and the corporate banksters took over America. And again, remember the shirt and tie business suit, that's a banker's suit. That didn't come into fashion until Woodrow Wilson started wearing it as president. But he was showing everybody he was a banker, not a president. So again, his allegiance was to the banking cabal, not to the people of America. And that's where that whole stretch run of people started of fake presidents. And well, they weren't fake. A lot of them did win election, but this whole series of cascading horrific events that dominated the first half of the 20th century.
I think the beginning mark would have been for this transition that led to the rule that they've had for over 100 years is back in China when they took it from the Qing dynasty. And now the Qing dynasty starts with the letter Q. I thought that, I'm like, shut up. Q? Really? That
payback is a what? Potty mouth prophetess? What is payback? Payback's
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't curse. Okay.
It's so funny to hear these nasty words coming out of your.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're just making stuff up now.
All right.
Okay. All right. So the remaining swamp creatures worldwide will be left for public square exposure. So the majority of the foundation and all the people that hold this big cabal operation together, anybody who has any clout, anybody who's had any money, say, have been taken down behind the scenes. If you still see them out there, it's either a fake or they've been told what to do, and they're doing it. Right now, they're taking down the media. Next is Big Pharma, the FDA, and the CDC.
Yay.
And that will be an arrest and exposure phase. The FBI and the DOD was already done, like first. And then Congress. And that's what we've been seeing in the Capitol. That's what we've been seeing in Washington, D.C., is the tribunals and all the court proceedings and everything.
Yeah. All the people being busted. Yeah,
government
being busted over
officials.
the White House. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Law enforcement and government officials, and that's what's been going on in D.C. So next is Big Pharma. I told you a long time ago, this is all going to be taken out in phases, okay? Didn't know that they're all going to be, like, behind the scenes, but taken out in phases. So we've got, social media is probably tied in with the takedown. I think that began a while ago. That's all intermingled with the media. And I think we're going to see more of social media takedowns real soon. I think that pretty much the power has been taken from them. And then we're going to go after Big Pharma, FDA, and CDC. But that is something that really needs to be exposed to the public, because we got a lot of people on medications that just can't stop. You can't just shut them all down, okay? That has to be an exposure and arrest phase, probably in the public eye, so that people understand what's happened to them and what they've been exposed to. All right, so the trucker convoys is of patriot origin. Any thoughts that it wasn't? Because of the money's trying to be taken, that's just the last ditch effort by private companies to stop for political reasons. But the trucker convoys are a patriot distraction, really, that does many things. It's basically to take down the government of Canada. That's what's going on right now. They're taking down the government of Canada behind the scenes. And the trucker convoys is the public outcry that we can watch, and the public can feel involved without running out into the streets and getting hurt, right? They don't want the public getting, going out in the streets in massive mobs, and then they, people are going to get hurt either way if that happens. So the trucker convoy is a way that, these guys are in these huge trucks and they're just parked and it's peaceful. And it's showing, hey, we're not going to take this anymore. And people are doing it here as well. But it's also distracting your attention. Over here, look at the trucker convoy while they take down underground the government of Canada. And it's also pulling you over here. Well, something's going on in Mexico. Hey, look at Canada. Something going on in Mexico. And so what you need to do with this, so it's giving the people a way to stand up and make if you want to make a big showing, it would take thousands and thousands, millions of people showing up. And when you got that many people around, they're vulnerable. Standing there in the street, they're vulnerable. But if you're in these big trucks and you're kind of okay, you've got some protection around you, you're in a convoy, that's easier to manage than all these millions of people all at once fighting, because so it gives the people a way to stand up and say we're doing something, and then people at home saying, oh, we're doing something, I can see this is effective. Maybe I don't have to go and start shooting people. But it's also a distraction. So if you've got something going on in LA, I would look in the opposite direction and try to figure out what's going on in the opposite direction. But the House of Cards, on a global level, is truly falling. And so what they're doing is, he explained it to me, when they stage a building for demolition. Let's say we've got this, huge high-rise building, and it's going to be, they're going to demolish it. So they clean the building out, they get all the people out, they set the scene, they put the charges in and everything, and most of the people don't really see that. What we'll see is, hey, they're going to demolish the building today, and then we watch, and the whole thing comes down, streamlined, done. So what they've been doing is setting this giant, take our freedom back from the cabal building up all this time, step by step, level by level, behind the scenes, keeping us all safe, keeping everything normal. There's certain players that have gone down, the media and here and there, just to appear that nothing's going on, so that they can go and get the other people, So big, long operation, major planning, worldwide. It's not that somebody just started putting Q posts out and everybody's like, oh, and there's like a handful of generals over here who decided to do this. No, we're talking about 100 years planning. But when that building comes down, we're going to see it all at once. And we're almost there. So, he still is confirming that it's something significant kind of announcement. We're going to see something. He says Saturday. And I'm like, you know what? You put me in a spot here. Come out here at these days. But let's just trust. Let's just see what's going on. I don't know if it's the EBS. I don't know what kind of announcement it is. But we're getting close to demolition day. Okay.
So are you getting that there's some kind of announcement on Saturday, or that there's some kind of event on Saturday that's like the collapse of the Canadian government, Trudeau resigning or something like that? What do you get in terms of what it might be on Saturday?
My throat's all fucked. Well, what he said was it was a significant day for announcements. So to me, I can only assume it may not be the EBS, because, the EBS may come from, if there's backlash from the remaining minions running around, whoever's left. They did save some for last. They did save some for public square, parade them out into public square, so to speak. And we got to have some of that. They can't just come out and say, well, this is what we've done. We're like, yeah, right. Where are they? Yeah. So I don't know. I can only speculate at this point. It's not really not telling me that. Probably because I'll be like, I don't know. It's probably me, because I'm a little afraid about putting more dates out there, But that's what I got today. I think that's pretty significant. But what I asked when I went in there, I said, so people really need to a better understanding of what's going on. We're just all they come out here with their cryptic crap, and it's like, okay, we'll decode this clock. I don't have time for that. I don't know how to decode that clock.
Somebody pointed, I think it was Cat Jockey, was like, well, if we can decode the Q clock, can't the bad guys do it too? And I'm like, yeah, which is why I don't think anybody can decode the fucking Q clock. I think it's more complicated than the Mayan calendar, How many back tunes go into a tune? Well, I don't really know, but it's like, whatever.
So, but just understand that, they're taking down support systems, they're taking down, governments, they're taking down, the cartel is kind of like ISIS, in Mexico. Huge. The cartel is huge and has infiltrated our country in such a big way. I believe they started that operation a long time ago when they started talking about the border. And I think they just had to go down and take out the remaining families and, the upper management of those.
Right.
So
now, before we go to questions from the audience, I got to ask you one other thing. Justin Castro / Trudeau gave a speech in Parliament the other day, 2 days ago, I think, and it appeared to be the guy with the veneers. So it was not the body double. We got from you a couple days ago that you thought he had been arrested and tried in an international court. So was he really there in Canada? Was that another double? What's going on with him being in the public eye? Because he was talking about concurrent issues.
I don't trust that was in Parliament. I don't trust any of it. I don't know if that was really him, but I think if it was him, it was recorded, because what I was told is that they're taking down the Canadian government right now. And so maybe they're all in one place and say, hey, everybody go in there, do what we tell you, and we won't shoot you in the head.
A year off your sentence. Yeah, or you won't get a bullet in the head. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But a listener, and I'm sorry, I don't want to give out your name, was saying, the other day when you were asked, Jen, where Trudeau went, I think it was Tiffany, I don't remember. Anyway, she said, you said Argentina, and I'm like, and it seemed just so random and like wrong. And she goes, there is underground military bases, and they've been doing tribunals in Argentina.
Oh, really? Oh. I didn't know that.
Makes
That's one of the rumors.
Sense.
Yeah.
And then I said that he was abroad, and so they moved him. I don't know if they put him back and said, hey, this is what you're going to do, and this is what all you little Parliament guys you're going to do, or we pull all your fingernails off, I don't know. This makes it more fun. But I don't know. They're going down. The government's going down. And so whatever, I would not trust much of what is put out into the news as announcements from these people or anybody who appears to be in charge.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting stuff. We have about 550 people watching right now. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here, on both here and on Rumble. Appreciate it very much. Just a reminder that when this live stream is over, it will be pulled down off of my channels, Mike Barra 333 and Mike Barra 3 on YouTube. The Real News Live team, it'll stay up there. God knows when they're going to go after that, but they're good. Sooner or later, they're going to go after it. So just keep in mind that this show gets pulled down. However, you can always find it on mikebarra.blogspot.com. Just simply go there. You'll get the latest news stream. If you click on the link, it takes you to a special page where you can actually watch the stream. And about 30 minutes after the show is over, it'll be encoded into a video. You can watch it there, or you can watch it directly on Rumble. Go to Rumble and open up a Rumble account and follow Real News Live on Rumble. Also, one of the things I wanted to remind you of is don't forget the Mickey Mouse clock that Q posted. It means 10 and 2. It means October to February. Shiz is going to giggle, so pay attention to that. But also, please patronize our wonderful sponsors, the ungovernedtshirtcompany.com, ungovernedtees.com, where you can pick up all kinds of cool patriotic gear, like baseball caps and stickers and beanies and mugs and T-shirts and more stickers and socks and patches and the Obama Trader T-shirt and my personal favorites, the MAGA and Obamagate long sleeve tee and or crew neck sweatshirt in either beige or black. The ungovernedtshirtcompany.com, ungovernedtees.com, true patriot gear for true patriots. A reminder to the people who won the contest on Saturday, get in touch with the folks over at the Ungoverned T-Shirt Company and let them know your name and address so they can ship you your prizes. And Jen, what is going on over at jenniferfalah.com? I have somebody in the chat that says, I didn't hear from you about my weight loss treatment yet, but you still got that one up there, so just letting you know.
Well, they either didn't hear from me because they just emailed me, and I'm catching up on emails. Otherwise, if you're on the list, I've probably got like 40 of these to do.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have to spend the next 2 days catching up on all of these and fry my brain. But weight loss, I'm going to catch up in the next few days, and then I'll have a nice clean list and everything, so don't worry about that. The weight loss healing is a talk with the soul. It's like hypnosis to help you help yourself and stick to your diet plan. It's a weight loss, it's a fat burn, a metabolism boost, a thyroid healing, or a body healing, a cleanse. It's a whole bunch of stuff just to clean you all up, get you moving in the right direction, and to help you achieve your goals and to remove anything that's stopping you from losing weight or making you gain weight. That's available there. You click it, you email me. The email's all over the website, and give me a picture and say weight loss healing. The gift cards are below there. You can get a gift card for a friend for a 30-minute reading or a divine healing. That is always available. If you need a house cleanse or an attachment removal, a cleanse, that'll work for that too. You just tell me when you email me the gift card. Below that, we still have our psychic development classes, and if you miss Monday nights, I feel sorry for you. No, I'm just kidding. You can still get it.
It was great. It was wonderful. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. You can still get it for clairaudience, all three. I suggest taking all three. It's really going to open your eyes up to functioning as a soul, which I believe everybody has the ability to do, and receiving your own information and staying centered with God. I think that's it for the specials right now. There's a love button there. Anybody wants to send some love, or if you run over on a reading, it's always there. I think that's all I have. Okay. I took the yearly forecast down. So that has
Finally, the yearly forecast is over. Also, I want to remind everybody that if you would like to send me some love, I would appreciate it. It helps keep the show going, keep the doors open, pay for the software, pay for the streaming, pay Jen's exorbitant fees that she charges me to come on the show. PayPal.me/Mike Barra or Venmo @Mike-Barra. I didn't realize this, but PayPal owns Venmo. So if they take me down on PayPal, they will also be taking me down on Venmo. But for right now, it's open. I do appreciate the love. I can always use it. I realize some of you may be tapped out, but hey, don't forget about me. Don't forget about your buddy Mike.
PayPal down?
Well, PayPal has banned. Mark Z got banned on PayPal just the other day. They just stole all of his money. So.
Oh my God! That's why I never leave anything sitting in there. I just transferred over right away.
Try to silence conservative
so don't
voices.
Ask me for a refund.
Yeah, do not leave any money in PayPal. They will steal it. So paypal.me/Mike Barra and Venmo @Mike-Barra. Okay, let us go to the chat and talk to some people. Dave K wants to know, can you use your government crack pipe to smoke ivermectin? Good one.
You could. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
Deborah Pollard got her cataracts removed yesterday. She can see clearly now. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Christine Packer loves the new opening. We have to expand that. We have to get Candace and Brooks, and maybe we'll put Steve Doran on there too. Stephanie Lynn Jackson loves your shirt, Jennifer. It looks super cozy.
Oh yeah, my little baby doll flannel. I love that thing.
Rebecca thinks your hair is especially beautiful today.
Thank you.
The potty-mouthed prophetess. That's Dave Barra's new nickname for Jen, because she was just...
I say one curse word.
Wasn't one. It was multiple. It's a whole bunch. I did not. Good morning, Mike and potty-mouthed Jen, says Angie Lincoln Dassner. Kimberly Reck is here. Suzanne Esch is here. Good morning, potty-mouthed Jen. I think it's going to catch on, Jen. Oregon Farm Girl is here. Big Dave's Peanut is here.
I just start openly cussing. You know.
Cannot picture Jen cursing. Can she do it live? No, she's not allowed to do it live. We have to keep our squeaky clean image of Jen. Mike and Jen, lots of love from the farm. Thank you. Jen, what do you see for the Ukraine crisis, and will that take down NATO finally? I think, Marcus, you asked this question Monday as well. What's going on with Ukraine? Is there going to be any military movement or anything like that?
What I'm getting doesn't make any sense. There is no Ukraine crisis.
It does make sense because there isn't. It's all part of Nasara, and it's all fake because everything's already agreed to that those territories are going to be ceded to Russia. It's already agreed.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
So you do with that what you will.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been telling you for years, folks, on my shows. Rachel Madcow has also gone on hiatus. So Rachel Madcow has now been removed. So what do you think of that, Jen? It fits right in with your media narrative.
I'll see her locked up.
You see her locked up. Good.
Well, she's definitely in a room that has a small room. I think she's talking to somebody. So I don't know if she'll come back. But it looks like a white walled, 4-wall room, small, and she seems to be talking to somebody.
Yes. I wish we had a webcam to watch that. Jen, do I need to get a job? John Cunningham wants to know, does he need to get a job or will the RV happen first? My suggestion is always that you take a job because I've been
everything as, business as usual. Don't do anything to put yourself in a spot that you're panicked and waiting for something to come through because there will be a rollout of this stuff. There may be an announcement and there may be a change of currency, but there's really going to be a rollout with retirement, people setting up for that, for payouts, for anything else. And so individually, it'll probably be different dates for different people. So just make sure that you do what you're supposed to do until you don't have to.
Yeah, there's going to be a rather large gap between, or maybe not a large gap, but a gap even between an announcement and an implementation. There's going to be some gap. I was originally told that the Nasara RV thing, the date for it that I was told was June 30th, 2011. So that's how long I've been waiting for it to happen. So don't count on it do not count your RV chickens until they hatch.
Now, I just had a thought. The post that we've all read, the Q post, my fellow Americans, you've undoubtedly realized that we are taking back our great country from those who wish to do. By now, you've realized we're doing that from those who wish to do us harm. Okay. Logically, by now you've undoubtedly realized something's happening. I think that's the beginning of the EBS announcement.
Okay.
So we're going to see something happen that's significant, showing that we're taking back our country. So by now you've undoubtedly realized. So I don't know if the EBS is going to come first. We're going to have to see something going on, and possibly military doing things. And people are like, oh my God, what's going on? And then, boop, 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 EBS, my fellow American, And I think that's kind of how it goes. So
before you said EBS there'd be like an announcement, and then there would be rebellion against the announcement, and then there would be EBS.
Probably.
Let's
just logically, I think that's the way it would go down.
Well, will the truckers be victorious in Canada and end the vax mandates? Yeah, I think we answered that. They're going to take down the government of Canada. I think when you see Trudeau resign, it's going to be the end of it. And again, there's more announcements today of different states getting rid of their vax mandates, getting rid of their mask mandates. But again, they're going to try to reimpose this in the fall. They're going to come up with some other excuse after the elections if they're still around in power. Hopefully none of them are in power. None of these Democrat governors and Rhino governors are in power by November.
Somebody just said, Jane Meyer just said, please consider doing your class for Monday night again in a few months. That class is available right now for everybody to get today, this moment. You will receive a link within 24 hours of purchase of the class and all the classes, and you can watch them over and over and over again forevermore.
Yeah, you can still go there and just pick it up, and we'll send you the link. The video is still there. It's an unlisted video, and you can watch it right now. So don't forget that. Okay. Glenn says, interesting that yesterday's devotion had the term. I don't know what a devotion is. Does anybody know what that is referring to?
Birthright in it.
Yeah.
Well, he's just saying wherever he saw that had the word birthright in it. And that's interesting because I had never heard like it explained like that until Gabriel said, when I saw that check. I mean, I've heard Mike talk about the birth certificates and the Social Security number and all that.
Right.
But when I saw that check, he said it's for your, and he said it just like this. It's for your birthright. Like that. So I can hear it, you know?
You are sold into economic slavery at your birth with the issuance of your birth certificate, but you're also supposed to have a right to issue credit, which is money in our current system, from the moment of birth. So it is your birthright. So
when
the money
did they
you're
start issuing birth certificates?
When
did they start doing that with the birth?
1930s. 1930s.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wish someone would define the actual top of the cabal. Who are they? Well, according to David Icke, they're reptilian aliens. There's evil demons and aliens behind everything at the top.
Okay, there is something at the top that I do not want to connect to. People call it the head of the snake. It's something that everyone is afraid of. They really believe that this has got power to do things to them without even touching them. This is why this is biblical. This is why this is good against evil. It's not the Antichrist. It's not what they want to do. As bad as this thing is at the top, what they want to do was to reduce the world, not just so that they have enough land and they have enough money and we all suck and they're nice and whatever. They want to reduce the vibration of this dimension low enough to make it one of their dimensions. They want to let in the big bad guy. Okay? And in order to do that, it cannot exist here, even with the host. Because of the low vibration, cannot exist here even with the host unless if our vibrations are high. That is why, through many, many teachers for a very long time, you've heard to raise your vibration, raise your vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Stay positive, don't think negative, all this stuff, especially now. That is why you've been told to pray. Because if they let everybody fall into a place of such severe misery, then they can let in the big bad guy, and it's game over for this dimension.
Yeah. Okay, over in the Rumble chat, A Patriot 99 says, "Good morning, Mike and Jen. What a great show as always. Thank you." Fraud exposed. Deb G says, "I haven't heard from you on the wait session." Okay, well, that's Jen, I think, already addressed that.
Debbie Judy needs to check the right emails.
Debbie Guidi, check your emails. Check your junk folder. Layla would like to know, why are all the planes cleared out of Ukraine? According to MonkeyWorks, that's an indication of the start of something. True, commercial. I think you mean commercial planes. True, but remember what Jen told you weeks ago. Mr. Putin is supposed to pretend like he's starting a war. That's his job right now, or an invasion. It's not going to be an invasion. It's going to be, they're going to open the gates and let him in.
So let's think about when the Ukraine was classified as an actual Ukraine territory. Because what I'm seeing the Ukraine as is as if they set up their own country or city that is strictly owned and operated by the cabal so that they can do stuff there that other, in their own little country, and nobody gets in the way.
Yep. And it was after the fall of the Soviet Union. Sandy Thompson says, "Jen, thanks for the information on my daughter Carmen. They have lifted the jab mandates and testing, but still have mask mandates up. Hopefully that goes away soon." Trying to find.
By the way, I'm proud of all of you with your broad jokes. Okay. It's like my kids over the years, I just love everything funny, and they're so funny. And like times when I should have been mad at them, about doing something that was totally hilarious. I'm just like, you know what? I'm so proud of you right now because that was hilarious.
Question for Jen. This is from Patrick. Patrick, can you see anything wrong with my dog Stella/Toto?
Stella and Toto are the same dog?
Apparently.
Patrick's dog. It's a weakened immune system. You're really gonna have to and I think it could be age. I don't know, but for some reason the dog's got a weakened immune system, so it's starting to get a little this, a little that. It's not really and maybe have the kidneys checked. But just really beef up the food and give that dog what it needs. Talk to the vet about it.
Okay, Nikki says, can't figure out what's wrong with our ferret named Butter. We've been to the vet twice. Can you please take a look at him, Jen? He has no energy and no strength. Butter the ferret. What's going on with Butter the ferret?
Ferret has a blockage. Take him to the vet. The vet didn't see it?
Intestinal blockage. Okay.
Yeah, it's an intestinal problem. What it looks like is a blockage to me. Or intestinal problems where he's getting blockages. So, what are you feeding him? Maybe change that.
Will the health insurance industry go belly up because of all the claims they pay for those who got the jab? I don't think so. They're trying to pretend like they don't have to pay for the jabs, right?
I don't know what's going to happen with insurance. Because that's a problem. Okay, there's going to be a huge revamping. So we're focusing on the makers of the pharmaceuticals first, and then there's going to be another wave, not before everything flips, but we're going to have this initial flip of power, and then we're going to start cleaning everything up, okay? And so what we're going to see was initially what Trump talked about with more competition in the health insurance industry, and so your premiums are going to go way down because they're going to have to compete for your business. Health prices for dental and medical are going to go way down as well.
Okay, I don't know what this is referring to, but JDK says Denise would like to know, will her yellow dragons pay off for her?
Just tell her yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just tell her yes. I'm like, I don't know what the hell she's talking about. And he said, just tell her yes.
Just tell her yes. David Lopan says he is going to Ottawa. He'll be boots on the ground. All right. Well, we'll try to get a report from you then. If I was a trucker, I'd park on Justin Castro's lawn.
Stay off the front line. I'll tell you the same thing I told Blake Wally on a certain date in January last year. He said, I'm going. Do you have any advice for me? I'm like, stay off the front line. They're going to do something. It's not going to be good. Just stay back.
Why are they using Joe Rogan as a distraction? Because they need a distraction. You know. Thanks for hitting the like button there, everybody.
They need a distraction from the media. I don't know. We're in the middle of the takedown of the media, so anything that's related to that probably is some kind of distraction or some kind of red pill. So just understand that everything's under that umbrella right now.
Jen, will there be a successful truck convoy around the Super Bowl?
I'm having trouble getting answers about the Super Bowl. Before I heard the word preempted. If you think you're going to get into the Super Bowl with your big trucks, you're sadly mistaken because they're just going to block off certain roads. They're going to try and stop you. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. there's a couple chances. There's a couple things that could happen. It could be preempted. I don't know. I don't really want to jump on that and say exactly what's going to happen because I don't know.
Sandy Thompson wants to know what's going on with her dog Coco. She's not acting right.
Ear infection.
There you go. Ear infection. Lisa Western says, I've been thinking of a rogue son, Matt, who I've not seen in a few years. Wonder if he is considering reconnecting with the family. Is Matt considering reconnecting with his mom?
That would be my reading. Hang on, I'll call you back. Damn it, I can't make it stop. Make it stop.
Okay, so is that it? I didn't know we had to be done at 11. But
I forgot to tell you. I've got Carissa is probably not watching. If you're watching, Carissa, I'm on the show. I will call you right back. What was that question that I missed?
Coco, the dog.
No, I did Coco.
Oh, I don't remember what it was. I don't remember. Where is it? It was not a ferret.
No, it wasn't a ferret.
Can't find it. We did the ferret. We did Coco. We did Coco. No, I just can't find it.
Just like that.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're going to wrap it up. Let Jen go do her reading. Jen, thank you again for a wonderful Tell the Truth Wednesday. Again, this video will be available over on Rumble in a few minutes. Everybody have a great Wednesday. I will be back tomorrow solo, I think, for Deep Thought Thursday. Give you an update on the news. Let's hope there is some news, Jen. Thank you very much for being here in the Gentel. We'll see you again on Free Reading Friday. We love you guys. Thanks for being here. Have a great one. There is no Phil Godlowski live tonight. I think he canceled on that. So we'll maybe talk to him, see some tomorrow. All right, guys. Love you. That's it. See you later.